A Democratic congressman is calling for any veteran, retiree, or service member who attacked the Capitol during the January 6th insurrection to be stripped of all of their veterans' benefits. In letters to secretaries of the VA and Department of Homeland Security, as well as the Department of Defense and the Attorney General, Arizona Congressman Ruben Gallego writes that rioters, quote, forfeited their moral entitlement to extra support by the people of the United States. And Congressman Ruben Gallego joins me now. He's a member of the House Armed Services Committee and a combat veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps. Congressman, it's great to see you again. Thanks for your time. Why do you think that stripping veterans and active service members of their benefits is the right move right now?
Because it might actually be the only way that we can really stop a further insurrection. We entrust these men and women with a lot of training, and then many times they leave the military and they end up joining these militias. And what we're seeing in the future is that you're going to see more and more of these militias radicalize or recruit our members when they leave the military. And then they could set those people, those veterans, upon us, like they did on January 6th. So this is one of the few things I think that we have that we can actually hold for some of these veterans, so they know that starting an insurrection is going to get you, your benefits rejected, right? So this is a deterrent more than anything else. Now, we're not saying that if you were protesting against, the vote on January 6th, you should get this. I'm talking about the people that were severely violent, the people that broke in, and the people that were involved in the actual planning of the insurrection on January 6th.
Okay, so to that point, how concerned are you about the significant presence of military personnel at that moment that you're describing, which is the so-called breach of the Congress and ultimately the act of insurrection, if you will? Because if you just walked up to the Capitol but didn't actually enter it, you were at that point still a protester, not an insurrectionist.
Correct. I'm worried about the actual hardcore violent insurrectionists, the ones that were part of the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, the ones that were part of the planning, and the ones that actually were not just inside, but were actively fighting inside and actively trying to storm and stop the vote. That is what the goal we have here. Again, this is a deterrence policy. We don't want in the future to have many veterans coming out, being recruited by these crazy organizations, and then be turned around on their government. If you want to do that, then fine, but you risk losing the benefits that this stable government gives you, which is a pension, which is your disability benefits, all these types of things that only this country really can give to you.
Do you know how many we're talking about? Are we talking about like a handful, dozens, tens? I mean, what do you know about the number of those military personnel?
I don't know, but this is one of the things why I'm asking a lot of the service secretaries of the VA for them to actually start exploring this, start understanding what happened there, and that way they could actually bring some guidelines. If anything, we want to establish an actual line, a red line that a veteran needs to understand. If they cross this red line, that this is the area that's punishable. As a matter of fact, I'm even for trying to bring back anyone that's still eligible. If you're a former military officer and we still have the opportunity to recall you, I think we should recall you and charge you under the UCMJ. That's something that, especially when you're going up and creating insurrection against your government. So we need to create deterrence. We need to show people that your actions are punishable. And it won't just be, the FBI knocking on your door. It'll also be the military, if you're still eligible, or the VA trying to take away benefits that you no longer have a right to since you try to overthrow your government.
So is pulling military benefits here overdoing it? And I ask this from the perspective of, relatives or others that may be dependent on those benefits by the act of one individual. You have hundreds of rioters that are already being arrested. Some could arguably be punished through the courts. But stripping the benefits could have repercussions on their family members, their children, their dependents.
There are ways to do this. This is not the first time that we're dealing with this, where the family members will still get their benefit, but the individual himself or herself will not. But we can't use that just as an excuse to the fact that they may hurt other people. At the end of the day, they try to destroy democracy. They try to destroy something that the Civil War could not destroy. Right. So we have to move forward in a manner. And this is why, again, I asked the service secretaries, the VA, and the Attorney General to actually come up with policies and figure that out. Many of these men and women, were single, did not have kids, and were kind of on the edges of society. So we can punish them without actually impacting other people.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.